So I do a lot of leverage and a lot of stretching of the joint. I think what makes Thai massage really effective, different than sports stretching, is the use of compressions with the stretches, right? So that's what I love about it. So when I see clients, you know, their eyes roll back when they just really respond to the stretch. And I get the great stretch going, and just put that hip compression on, they're like, oh my gosh, right? So a lot of this is just basically getting that hip stretch or that compression at the right time. It's also kind of being smart about how you do it. So a lot of us will come into a stretch. I like to make sure that I support every part of the joint. I don't just lift the leg up, you know, and then extend that there. So when I come up, I'm already supporting the joint, making sure the draping's good. Come up. I know she's flexible, so I know her arm's going to be in the way, so I'm going to move her arm out of the way, okay? I'm not going to stretch her under her chest. I'm going to stretch her into this open space here, right? Because again, I know she's probably pretty stretchy, so I come up. And that's all pretty passive, but I'm going to pretend that there's some restriction there. Thank you. Oh yeah, look at that. So here's the trick. Usually this joint is bigger than this joint, right? So I'm already kind of outmatched. So I might be out here with my arms pushing. There's a lot of strength. They get tired pushing that, especially if they start to resist me. So I can start to try to use a little better mechanics. So that's kind of okay with the bicep coming in there. That puts all the pressure pretty much on my shoulder though. My massage is pretty shoulder heavy, so I really don't necessarily want a lot more on my shoulder, but that might be an okay from the side sort of stretch. I can bring it in a little closer from the shoulder itself, right? Drop in for that stretch. I'm off the table. This is if you have any reasons why you wouldn't be on the table, clinical, state regulations, whatever. I might come up with one leg and just come in here and really get in that stretch thrust a little better, right? I personally have to be all the way up on the table, so I come up on the table. Whenever I'm stretching my clients, I like to give them kind of a structure, you know, a good cage so they don't go off the track and that kind of deal. So here, I've got her lined up pretty good. I'm going to take her foot and put it in my hip pocket. It's kind of the best place. You can do shoulder too, but then you're really having to use your core to get that done. Here, we just kind of stretch in. I know she's stretchy, so I'm stepping as far forward as I can without pinching her. Nice deep inhale, and that's a decent stretch. But what makes the stretch really good is coming over the opposing hip and just going, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of playing between the two, so that's a decent stretch. You doing? Okay. So do that. I might come up, challenge, open up, different stuff here. Kind of on the body a bit. I know she can go deeper, so I'm going to just come out, go into that negative space. How are we doing? Alright. Come up. So I still keep this nice kind of brace so I don't have to kind of reset. So I'm coming to here. I might start to come across the midline. I'm going to take that mortar and pestle the whole joint, right, all the way through. So I'm going to step into there. I'm going to come out. Come in here, I'm going to come out, embrace. Even this stretch here, if you come out and you come across and you come out with that nice big long leg stretch, it's a decent stretch, but it's this compression in the hip that makes that really challenging. Because she's long, we probably have to go like this.
Yeah, no big deal.
Wow.
Woo.
Yep.
And with oil, you just fall off. That's why balm or really thicker emollient's better, because this foot isn't going anywhere. It's just, you know, solid. Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Where you had her just like knees to chest or one knee to chest. Mm-hmm. Like say she's not as flexible as she is. Mm-hmm. What is the most efficient way to put pressure on the hip joint?
Well, so be something like this, because now she doesn't have to flex to get all that.
Yeah.
Right?
Still stretch.
Get there. Right. So on the sides. So now there's no low back stretching at all. If that wasn't, I could put her totally on her side.
So that's like a different stretch than the knee to chest thing.
Oh, you want the knee, so that knee to chest is just whatever she gets. So you don't, so here's the trick. For somebody else, Handy, this is nothing. For my mom, this might be a world-class stretch for her, right, or something like that. So I don't need to move her. I just go to where she can stretch. I don't try any more than that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I'm just wondering, because I think what helps you get into the stretch more is to push on this, but it's hard for me to get that.
Well, then, like in Thai, they have the paddles. So in Thai, they have this kind of stuff.
High.
Mm-hmm.
Right, there's these kind of things, push-aways.
Okay.
That might be some, does that look like it? Or you can probably do the same thing. So I'll do this stretch here, and I'll come in and do a lot of,
I would like more.
oh yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
But like, saying that you're not as flexible as you are and you can barely get them up.
So this a lot, you're hard, so for her, if we're stepping in a lot, I wanna make sure that I'm not just dropping down. So I might be a little further back, I might come out to my knee. Right, that kind of deal. Open the hip up, open the hip up. So this one is really a piriformis target for me. What I'm gonna do is kind of line up my arm pretty straight again, or her knees in the axillary. If they're very long, then it's gonna be something like this, whatever. I'm gonna pull you over. If anything is bad in your hip, let me know, okay? So nice deep inhale. And what I do is I keep her hip in the same position as I pull until I get her low back as stretched as I can, rotated. That's what I'm doing. And then at the end of that, I'm gonna let the hip drop. Okay? So then what I'm gonna do, that's really interesting. You got a tight hip there.
yeah.
Didn't realize that.
So I think it's this. It could be this
Yeah,
side.
funny. So for me, I use my stomach to push in and keep that tension there, and I start to pull into myself. And most people at about this pressure, they're off the table. So you don't go crazy back here. What I find about this is that it just thins out the gluteals and lets me get on the rotators pretty easy. The one thing about doing a lot of this is that it's definitely a flexor problem, right? I got this going here, and so I could do two hands on one, right? Or get behind and use an elbow. I like to pull because I got the strength for it, but don't do stuff that's gonna make you tired. How we doing? And I'll just keep playing with that hip, push it around. Sometimes I put this leg all the way over and do it like that. Nice, pops back. It's pretty interesting. And then I'll do some stuff like from here. I like to do some cross-body pulls. These are just going for low back, lumbosacrals. But I get in right to her spine, right below the rib cage. I'll come over to the chest, nice deep inhale, and I'll pull. I usually have a leg over for that, probably right here with her. And again, it's a little bit too much of a muscle line to do a lot of it, but it's just so good that I throw it in because clients just love that. Pull away, reach under, pull it back. And because I'm using that bomb, I'm not falling off. I'm just holding on till the muscles let go. When I do adductor work, so I use 2 rolled up towels, or I buy the bolsters. I cut them in half, and I use half bolsters, so I can take one out and leave one in. Independent suspension, right? I like to come under with my south foot, get under the leg. I make sure I'm not out here below the knee because it torques the knee. So I want to be up here where it's nice and supported. Sometimes you're really tall, so you got to kind of come out. Sometimes you're small, you got to come up. But you're trying to find this nice angle here. And I'm going to cheat and just go to oil just because it's quicker. I would still normally use palm. And then what's nice about the adductor work and the hip work here is that you're working against yourself. You're not doing the isometric press. You just come in here and dig. How we doing? Hold. Back in your body weight and go.
Yeah.
Come back in. So that's just a push down to the foot, pull up on the thigh. Here, right? Here. For me, my work, I come in, I push into the tummy, I go over to the chest, I make sure everybody talked to my client about that, I come back, I grab the trap, drop in, come back around. Right as I get here, my elbow's ready to run inside the anterior hip and really dig. My hands are really digging because I know she can handle that. Other people I'm not. Some people, I put my hand there and I work over my hand because they think that's all they can take, right? I'm not trying to force myself in. I'd rather get in with permission than force my way in because then they won't hate me for every massage forever. So I push in. I do a lot of pressure right on the hip.
Oh, yeah.
I could feel more.
Even more? Look at it. Even more.
Just tear my whole leg off. That'd be great.
Right. Come back. I'll come to my outside hand. I'll come to her spine. And as I come up, I'm going to come down over, get to the top of the sacrum and just strip out, right? Go for the rotators. So here. I usually will find a spot right about here and hang out in. And pull back. It's just a nice way to get right over the work, right? And then you can do more work here. You can come out. You might bolster there, you might not. So I'm watching the eyes, right? Crow's feet kind of start to go, probably hurting her. The brow furrows, she thinks she's gonna hurt her pretty soon. Either way, adjust. So I'm gonna make this a little more complex. I'm gonna come up. That's funny. How we doing?
Good. That was a good stretch.
So she's pretty tall, she's pretty bendy, I'm gonna kind of lose my efficiency, so I'm gonna come back here and probably get her foot to get this a little higher up, so I step back. Come out. The outside hip for you, deep breath. And I'm just supporting that knee so it tracks well. Give me position the foot.
Yeah, I really like the compression.
It makes it,
It makes it.
And then some of the people that you really want to stretch like this, you're just going to be like it's like a moving a tree, right? So what I'll do sometimes is I'll come in, get the leg out, turn backwards, get a grip.
Ooh, yeah.
I still want to catch in with her and see where she's at, just in case she's not be communicated. I'm going to go out that leg a little bit. How's your knee?
Good.
Good. Okay. And again, she's in the 1% range of clients, right? She's not going to get us a lot, but just knowing how to get in this kind of place with your client, knowing that it's safe is good. And this just comes from working with dancers a lot, people that are flexible. Again, watching the knee.